Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on PARCC for this year, for 2016, and also a little review of the tools and the things that you might remember from last year, but it's been a year, so you might need a little bit of a reminder. So the first thing I want to show you is that grades 6 through 8 are going to take PARCC on the week of April 25th to April 29th. So here's the schedule. On Monday, April 25th, that's the second Monday after we return from spring break, you'll be taking English Language Arts, or ELA Unit 1, on Tuesday, Unit 2, on Wednesday, Unit 3, on Thursday, Math, the first two units, 1 and 2, and then on Friday, Unit 3. So that's the schedule. So the week of April 25th will be all PARCC testing for grades 6 through 8. So get ready for that. I also want to show you that this year, PARCC has released some of the items that you worked with last year on the PARCC test. So you can get them really easily. They're free and open to everyone. The easiest way to find them is to just Google PARCC released items, but your teacher will have a handout that will have this whole website on it for you. So you can just click right on that Google search item, or you can go straight to the website from the handout. And when you get here, the website should look like this: PARCC released items. You're going to go to the grade level bar and you're going to select your grade. I'm going to select 7th grade just because it's in the middle of the middle school, but you can select any grade level and you can search. And these are going to give you the items that were on PARCC last year, that if you were in 7th grade last year, you saw them last year, they should look familiar. If you were not in 7th grade last year, go to your grade level and you'll see yours. Here, I'm going to go to the research simulation task, which is Unit 2 of PARCC. It's the one that had the 3 documents. So we're just going to click on that item set, and we're going to look at what they were. So the first part of this document that you'll see are the types of questions that they asked you and what standards, what Common Core standards were covered in these questions. So that might be interesting information for you. It's interesting information for your teachers, for sure. And then you'll look at some of the documents that you read. So you might remember reading about the gold rush. In this part of PARCC, and in the ELA Units 1, 2, and 3, what's very important is for you to read this bold part right before the documents start. So here it's telling you what you're going to read, and then it says, as you review these sources, you will gather information and answer questions about the author's points of view and the way they present information so you can write an essay. You are reading, your purpose for reading is for the author's points of view and the way they present information. So while you're reading, you should really be thinking about what is the point of view of this author and how is this author presenting information. That's your purpose. That's what you're going to write about later. So you read through these documents and you answer the questions. You might remember Part A, Part B questions from PARCC last year. The rule for Part A, Part B is that you have to get Part A correct to get any points on these 2 questions. So that means that if you get Part A correct, and it's really just a question, almost like a vocabulary question, it's asking about a phrase. So it gives you the phrase, it gives you the paragraph, you just have to go back to paragraph 2, find that phrase, read around it, find the right answer, choose the right answer, and then in Part B, you choose what additional idea does the reader understand from the phrase in Part A. So there's another idea there, and this supports your answer in Part A. So you get Part A correct, you get Part B correct, you get 2 points. You get Part A correct, you get Part B wrong, you get 1 point. You get Part A wrong, you get no points for the whole question. So that's how that works. So this is for all those Part A, Part B questions. Keep in mind that when you see a question like this with square boxes rather than round, you're choosing more than one answer. So be sure to read the question carefully. You're going through, and then you'll see your second document. So here is the second document. This is an excerpt from an essay or a book. A Woman Went to Alaska, and you're going to read that, and then you're going to have your Part A, Part B questions just specifically to that text. And now you had a video, City of Gold. So you're going to watch that video. You remember this is a document, so I can't play it, but you remember you played the video. You will have headphones. You'll be able to hear it. And you can play it as often as you need so that you can remember it. And again, you're looking for the author's point of view and the way that author presents information. So the author is the narrator of that video. And then you're answering your Part A, Part B questions, and then you get to your essay. When you get to your essay, make sure that you read very carefully the essay prompt, because you're going to want to stay focused on the essay prompt and explain exactly what the essay prompt is asking you. So here, let's look at it. The authors of Klondike Gold Rush and A Woman Who Went to Alaska and the narrator of City of Gold are discussing the same topic but are using different points of view. How does each person's point of view shape the reader's understanding of the miners' lives? Now, if you didn't know they had different points of view, now you do. The prompt is telling you that. So don't write an essay saying they all had the same point of view. because the prompt is telling you that they definitely have different points of view. How does each person's point of view shape the reader's understanding of the miners' lives? That is your focus point for this essay. Don't write about something else. Don't write about whether or not you liked reading what you read or what they said was stupid or something like that. You want to be focused and you want to be serious about answering this question very clearly so that the reader of your essay knows that you read well, that you understood what you read, and you're writing well too. You can write well to a prompt. So that's very important. You might remember this tiny text box. Remember that in this tiny text box, you actually have room to write up to 4 pages of an essay. So if you had an essay book in front of you, you would have up to 4 pages of space to write. That's what you have in this tiny text box. So you don't want to just fill up this tiny spot. You want to write and write and write and write and write until you complete your essay because you have plenty of room, even though it doesn't look like it. As you're typing, this scroll bar over here is going to jump up and it's going to expand. So as you're typing, you'll see the scroll bar and you can just keep on typing. Don't think you're going to run out of space. Keep typing until you're finished with your essay. Also, in between paragraphs, it's hard for a reader when they get your essay after you're done and they're scoring it to know where your paragraphs start and end. So please make sure to hit enter twice after each paragraph so that we can see the space in between the paragraphs. Okay, so those are some tips on writing your essay. Now you might want to know, well, what did a good essay look like? Well, you can find that out on this site as well. So you just go back, and I was in the research simulation test item set. Now I'm going to go to the research simulation test sample student responses. And here it gives you the documents again, and it gives you sample papers. So here is what these documents start with are the best essays, and it goes down to the least successful essays. So this is one of the best essays that a 7th grader wrote last year, and you can just see really the length and the quality of the writing excuse me, in this essay really does show you that this writer was doing an excellent job. Many people risk their lives in order to seek riches and gold, only to find challenges along the way. So the writer starts with a hook. You don't have to start with a hook to do well on this essay. You can write just a straightforward essay responding to the prompt, and you'll still get a good score. So here this writer gets a 4, and you can see how the writer made sure to use each and every text in this essay and explain why he or she was using each and every text. That's very, very important. And then gets to a conclusion and is very specific. In conclusion, this all shows. So really, this is just a very well-developed, well-thought-out essay using evidence from the text. Very, very successful essay. And here is the score. Highest score on both areas, reading and written expression. As you go through, this is another very successful essay. And this one got a 4 and a 3, still very high scores. This is another successful essay. But this one is one that you can maybe see is a little bit more straightforward. Thousands survived the most dangerous weather and the endless labor to reach the prospect of gold during the Klondike Gold Rush. That's a good hook. Their story is told by these authors through different points of view that help the reader have a deeper understanding of this topic. That's basically this writer just taking the prompt and turning it into a thesis statement. And that's very well done, and that is very acceptable. And this essay got a very nice score, a 3 and a 3. That's well done, and this writer could have gotten a 4 or a 5 on PARCC with those scores. So these are some things to keep in mind as you're writing on PARCC. Really think about how you're writing and what you're writing. And are you focused on the prompt? Are you using evidence from all the text? And are you explaining why you're using evidence from all the text? These are all very important. Okay, so now what we want to go to is the PARCC practice site. So on the PARCC, you can go to the PARCC practice site. It's also free and available to everyone. But this one is not supported by Chrome. So if you're a Google Chrome user, you want to go to a different browser. I'm going to use Firefox for this one. And you're going to go to this website, parcc.pearson.com. And again, your teacher has a handout showing you how to get to this website. And when you get here, it should look something like this. You want to go to test preparation, and you can select either sample items or practice tests. It's very much up to you. Both of them will give you the same practice. I'm going to go to practice tests, and I'm going to click on English Language Arts, but you can also click on math from here. And I'm going to scroll down and choose grade 7. And I'm going to go to computer-based practice test. Here you don't have to sign in, you're a guest. You're just going to click on Start Test Now, and you go through. This is going to give you a little sample of each unit of PARCC, units 1, 2, and 3, all smushed together here in this practice test, and it looks exactly like it did last year. So if you remember practicing on the site last year, it's exactly the same practice pieces, but it might give you a little bit of time to go through the tools again and get used to the tools again. You have your Part A, Part B questions. You have these tools up here. The arrow allows you to go through the questions. This review button here allows you to go bounce among the questions, so you don't have to use the arrows, but you could go straight to question 9 if you wanted to. The bookmark tool allows you to bookmark a question if you want to go back to it before you submit your answers. So if you bookmark it and you go to review, you'll see the little bookmark pops up there. If you take the bookmark off and you go back to review, the bookmark is gone. This pointer tool is the default. That's what I'm using right now. But if I want to go to Notepad, I would click here, and you can write virtual notes right here. So you can type your notes here. And this is the answer eliminator. If you wanted to use process of elimination and eliminate some answers that you know are wrong, you could use that. And then you just click on them to take them off. You go back to the pointer to select your answer. And then over here, you can change the background and foreground color. I really don't recommend it. It kind of wastes time. But if you really feel like you have to do that, then you can. But don't spend a lot of time changing the colors. It's kind of silly and unnecessary to your score. You can have the magnifier if this is helpful to you and you want to magnify something on the page. You can use that. You do not have to use any of these tools at all. You can completely ignore them. This is the line reader mask. You could look at one line at a time if that's helpful. You could scroll around with that. And answer masking is interesting too. You can cover up the answers and then reveal them one by one. You do not need to use any of these tools. You can completely ignore the tools and you can just take the straightforward test. It is completely up to you. Nobody is making you use any tools. So keep that in mind too, please. You want to make sure also before I come off of this, when you get to your essay and you're looking at typing, and you can practice typing in the essay boxes that are on this practice site. That might be a great way to remember how to use this site. But as you're typing, you'll see as I hit enter that scroll bar. This is the scroll bar I was talking about, and it's going to grow. It's going to let me keep on typing as much as I want into this box. After you're done, don't just hit submit because you're just so glad you're done, but make sure you proofread really carefully because your mechanics and grammar is a separate score from your writing. So you want to make sure that your score gives you the most points possible on not only your writing and your reading of the text, but also your grammar and your mechanics, and we know that you can do that. So we know you're ready for PARCC. We know you're going to get great scores. We know that you've done the work in class and you've worked with everything that your teachers have given you, and you're ready, and we're excited for really strong scores. Remember, when you put your name on anything, it should always be your best work. So we're really looking forward to some great scores this year. Make sure you have a great breakfast each morning. Make sure you get a good night's sleep the night before, and you come in all ready to go. If you have any questions about PARCC or practicing for PARCC or preparing, please ask your English teacher or your language arts teacher. And please feel free to view this video again if it's helpful to you. Have a great day and good luck on PARCC.